Hi, Gillian. Good to see someone live. How are you? Hi, Anne. Can you hear me? Because I can't hear you.
Yes,
Good to
yes,
see
I
someone
just
live.
made the sound.
How are you? Hi, Anne.
I'm well, thanks.
Yeah, good morning, Sarah.
Morning, Sandra. Morning, Kun Nopadom, Hado, and Azita.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Ha.
Good morning, Kun Sarah.
Sawadika, Kun Subatson. Yes.
Something
All I can
wrong
see
with
are the
camera.
all I can see are the clouds at the moment.
Yeah. I changed.
Jan, are you here now? Not quite. Should be nice and warm for you in Vancouver these days, Anne.
It's great. Yes, we've been having beautiful weather.
Lovely long summer days.
Yes, that's exactly what we've had.
Have you been getting into the ocean? Have you been
yes,
swimming?
I have.
Good.
Yeah, it's great. It's wonderful. I like floating.
Such good exercise. And
I know.
Good morning, Sarah.
Hi, Hung.
Hi.
And how's Pina, Anne?
She's holding her own, Sarah. She's certainly not very active now. She's not living out in the country anymore. She has a little place in the town nearby. She's pretty much living there. And she's expecting her friend Swati, the friend she worked with so much in Australia, to be coming soon. They're doing some work together.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah,
and much easier for her to just live in a small place in the city than being isolated in the countryside, and more convenient for any medical issues or anything that she needs.
Well, medical issues are tricky because mostly she has to go into Austin, which is a couple hours away.
Okay.
But no, she's like I say, she's holding her own, Sarah.
Okay, give her our best wishes.
I will. Thank you.
And Jonathan's going to be, as I mentioned, a little bit late, but he's on his way back. Jan, are you here now?
Yes, สวัสดีค่ะ everyone.
สวัสดีค่ะ Jan.
Okay.
สวัสดีค่ะท่านอาจารย์ Good morning, everyone.
Okay.
Morning, Sam.
So I think we can start. Alberto, do you have anything you would like to bring up for a change? Or anyone else?
Alberto, we can't hear you.
Yeah, maybe a technical question about no, sorry, I can't find it. I'll have to look for it. Just give me a minute. Sorry.
Okay. Anyone else have any topic they would like to bring up? Sundara or Gillian or Kunsapatson?
Okay, today I have question to ask Kun Sarah. Okay, you
Go
heard?
ahead.
Okay, good. Okay, a couple of days ago, I heard the word accumulation, and well, I mean, before I understand that loba, attachment, aversion, and ignorance are accumulated. And I heard that there's some others reality which don't accumulate. Am I right, Kun Sarah? And what are they?
What about seeing now? Does seeing accumulate?
See. I guess yes. I don't know, but I guess seeing is Nama Dhamma and is accumulated. No?
But seeing is vipaka, it's result.
Oh,
So result citas, vipaka citas, don't accumulate. They're the result of karma finished. So seeing doesn't condition more seeing.
Right.
It is the result of the karma that brings that particular result. So hearing now doesn't accumulate. But after the seeing, the clinging to what is seen or the clinging to seeing itself, the clinging accumulates. The thinking about what has been seen accumulates. One becomes more and more accustomed, or the habit develops to think about certain objects. Like this is why we talk about the Dhamma, because the accumulation of thinking and attending wisely to realities accumulates. But the seeing itself, the hearing, the vipaka citas don't accumulate. And the kiriya citas, like after seeing two more vipaka citas that don't accumulate, and then the votapana citta, kiriya citta, it doesn't accumulate. It just makes way for the kusala or akusala cittas. And those cittas and chaitasikas, the kusala and akusala cittas and chaitasikas, they accumulate. For example, there's marking and remembering what has been seen with kusala or akusala cittas, and that sanya accumulates. But the sanya that arises with the seeing is also vipaka, so it doesn't accumulate. So one has to consider each reality and when it arises. So seeing never accumulates, but sanya, passa, the chaitasikas that can either arise with vipaka cittas, kiriya cittas, or kusala or akusala cittas. It depends when they arise, what citta they arise with, whether they accumulate or not.
Okay.
So now what is accumulating?
Now is attachment.
And some moments of unwise attention, some moments of wise attention. So attachment's accumulating when it arises. Ignorance is accumulating when it arises. But understanding is also accumulating when it arises. Kindness, metta, is accumulating when it arises.
That's great.
Okay.
Yeah, and one more question. I heard, many times Kun Jonathan said about the word accumulation tendency. What does he mean by that?
It means the habit, like now there is the tendency for lobha, so it's the habit or the tendencies that accumulate. So accumulations are really habits or tendencies. So the accumulated tendency to cling to certain kinds of food, for example, or the accumulated tendency to enjoy particular colors or visible objects, or the accumulated tendency to be kind when there is an opportunity. So it's the habit that has developed the tendency.
Okay,
this is what he's talking about.
Okay.
And perhaps Ajahn would like to add more on this topic too.
That's why we learn what jati, what classic. Citta is at this very moment. When it's vipaka, it's finished. It has conditioned already to arise and just see or hear. That's why Kriya Citta and Vipaka Citta does not accumulate at all.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. กราบท่านอาจารย์ค่ะ I have better understanding.
It's a good point to clarify, because I think many people have misunderstandings about it. So it's a good topic that you've brought up. Alberto, have you found your question?
Yes, it's about Aditana, the parami. And I was looking into Pitaka, the reality of Aditana. I remember Ajahn talking about it, but I can't remember exactly what she said. So anyway, I looked it up and I couldn't find any reality which is referring to Aditana. I think I remember something like Viriya is the reality which is Aditana Parami. And so I look it up and I've read references to samadhana, which is undertaking, which usually refers to Chetana Cetasika and Virati Cetasika. So maybe my question is Chetana related to the confidence, to also the determination as well in some kusala way to the condition the kusala the kusala chitta. Not sure if I make sense.
Okay, just to keep it simple, I think there are three different points you're bringing up. One is about Aditana Parami, which usually Jan refers to quite a lot as confidence in the truth. Usually in the text, we find it translated as determination, which is a bit misleading, but confidence now. So this is one question about how you cannot find in the text a particular reality it's referring to. And your second one is about samadhana, or undertaking, and the role of Chaitana. And the third one is whether it is related to Aditana. So I think three different points. Let's see if Ajahn would like to comment. The reason I just summarized is because it can be a little bit difficult for some people to hear you.
Yeah,
Ajahn.
Thank you, Sarah.
I think that any word of Dhamma should be considered to understand the quality or the characteristic of that reality. For example, is it firm now that seeing is conditioned and it arises and falls away instantly? Is it firm enough?
Not yet, Ajahn.
Not anyone who can determine, right?
Right.
So understanding what is meant by firm confidence or not firm confidence. If it's not firm, it has to develop on and on to be part of me until it's fully developed. It's ready to condition any reality right then. For example, right now, it's not moment of right awareness, right? Instantly, by conditions, not by anyone determined it at all. That's why I understand the word of the Dhamma. It has its quality or its characteristic beyond the word. If we have such understanding, we can use such words, right, determined, or anyone can translate that, adidana. But in truth, no one can make decision at all. No one can have determination, because even if determination, what is it? A reality. And when it's parami, it's the conditions to realize the truth. When time comes, when it's ready, when it's fully developed, not just by any kind of determination at all. Is that right? So if we use the word, another word, what reality is there? Chitta is chitta, cetasika is cetasika, phassa is phassa, and so on. So what is the reality of determination or determine? But when it's firm enough, it appears by way of anatta instantly. So the more understanding of the truth, it is firmer confidence of anatta, opposite of atta, as before. So it doesn't matter at all what word is used, but what is the understanding of the truth, of the nature, of the characteristic of that which is there. And when it appears, no word at all, but the characteristic, the pure characteristic of each reality can appear to understanding clearer and clearer. How come? Adidana parami, not to go away to the other object at all. What about right now? Understanding that which has the reason right now. Is that parami, firm parami? Not just determined at all, not just determination at all, but confidence there, not go away from that very moment, which is now appearing. When will it be that moment? Firmer and firmer confidence of the truth. That which hasn't arisen yet cannot be object of understanding at all. No matter what, it has to be right then when it's there, appearing. Understanding that which has arisen. Is that right?
Yes, it's.
And without such firm confidence of the understanding of what is there right now, can there be any condition, any moment at that very moment? Just attend to the characteristic of what we have used to hear. Nama, see, or rupa, hardness is there. If there's not enough confidence of the truth, it is only that which appears to be known. Nothing can be there at all. Nothing except that object only. See? So right understanding is developed little by little to understand the truth by oneself, by one's accumulation, whether it is now understand that which is now appearing because it has a reason, and what is the reality which perform that function, not citta, not phassa, not feeling, not sanya, but a reality. And we heard the word sati, just take it for granted, or what is it? It's the moment when it does not forget about the wholesomeness at any moment, even right now. It can be the moment of sati, develop on and on and on, to be firm, adidana, to begin to understand by instantly, anatta, attending to the seeing. So Dhamma is to understand, not just to remember the word, not just try to find the definition, but the truth is that it's that sati is moment of not forgetting the wholesomeness, no matter what in a day. So the daily life is a proof of understanding how much firm confidence of what is now appearing to be studied by attending to the characteristic of each different ones. Seeing is not thinking, it's not attending, it's not liking or anything at all. Only Panya can see how much development it has to go on by conditions, no other way. And this is the only way to get closer to the truth, not by attention, not by determination, but right understanding is there, the first noble truth of the age path. And whatever is heard and studied, which develop the understanding of no one, no thing, no self at all, is the path. At that very moment, it begins to know, to realize how much ignorance of what is there now and other moments in a day, yesterday and today and tomorrow and on and on. That's why this is the only way that the understanding only letting go the idea of self very, very gradually, and the very, very strong and subtle attachment. See? So they go together, ignorance and attachment, until they can be absolutely or ultimately eradicated, never, never to arise again. So it's not just talk about the term, the word, but what about the truth of what is that is what we are talking about, right? What is there now is what we used to talk about, we are talking about right now, seeing. But it's not the word. It's not the understanding of the meaning of seeing, but the nature of seeing is there. The nature, the characteristic, the quality of that moment, which experiences the object. Long time ago, eons and eons, how long it is now, because it has been accumulated and has been developed on and on and on. So it's just a matter of right understanding only, no one at all. So what is that is the proof, how much understanding of that which is now appearing. Even the moment of realizing that there is no understanding of it is so very precious. It's so true. It is satya. And it's the condition not to forget, to know that it's not yet realized, little by little. So no worry about when will it be experienced, just by conditions, see? So each moment goes on in a day by conditions. If there is attachment to the result, it's so worry about it. Try many, many ways to understand it. But trying to understand is not right understanding. It is viriya cetasika. See, we talk about what are there in the day, different ones from moment to moment. And once it has arisen and fall away, it never arises again. So very simple, but so deep. And if it's reminded, it conditions kusala citta, understanding the truth. The path is so very subtle right now. Instead of trying to define whether it is determination or whether it's that and that and that, but it's there right now. It's like firm confidence, tira sanya, the very firm sanya, condition awareness to arise, to be aware. As it is awareness, it's conditioned to arise. But without right understanding, it just arises at moment of kusala, any kind of wholesome deeds. At that moment, no one, and sati is there. But there are many grades or degrees of sati, many levels. Sati, which arises at moment of hearing, considering, understanding, is not that which is so keen that it's aware, because it have confidence of the truth. What is there has to be learned. Now we just talk about it in order to have confidence. Adidana so great, not to leave this moment, not to go away from this moment. It is there to be known, but it's not known yet. Until it's known, gradually, little by little, the 3 rounds of Ariya Satya about even sati or any kind of reality. It cannot be realized instantly.
And I was also reading about the quality of confidence as the near cause for being parami. Maybe the panya is the far the distant cause, the far cause, condition. But it's very helpful. Not forgetting about sati, not forgetting about the kusala, the kusala also.
And it's moment of understanding firmly of anattaness. See, all dhammas, wholesome dhamma, go together. Vriya is there, sati is there, chanda is there. And that's why we learn little by little what are there in life, each moment. It cannot be directly aware and understood instantly, but it conditions. How long it does matter by conditions, because the accumulation of akusala, ignorance and attachment, and other akusala, so enormous. It's there right now, in between listening, understanding the truth. See, and without understanding the truth, hearing and considering wisely, correctly, how can there be no akusala at that moment of attending carefully to what is heard to understand it? That's why Dhamma is so very, very subtle. And only Panya learns little by little to understand the truth at moment of hearing, considering, and it is the only way. It is developing little by little each moment of understanding correctly, wisely, clearly about now, what is it? In a day, if you don't talk about it, no thought about it, that is just a reality. It is only the reality which experiences the object, but there is clinging instantly to the object which is experienced all day when there's no reading, considering, thinking about Dhamma. So how long it will take to just wearing away what has been accumulated, so enormous of ignorance and attachment. And this is the only way, Panya, which sees the subtlety of Dhammas, is the only way to let go. Any moment of clinging to the result, to understand this, to understand that. And what about right now? And what takes the moment to such thought about other things? Avijja and Lopa, unknown until it's known. So it's a very, very great task to understand a little more right now. How great patience, Khanti Parami, Viriya Parami, Satya Parami, Nekhamma Parami, and other Parami.
A little more understanding about seeing.
Right now. No way. So it's joy. See, no other way, the only way. And right understanding, conditions of great patience. It doesn't matter how long, but right now there is a little more understanding. Even it's so very little, but it's so precious. It's the moment when akusala cannot arise, little by little, gradually, until in a day, more kusala, by conditions, also by conditions. That is the firm confidence of anatta. All kinds of parami go together. Panya parami, understand the truth, is so subtle. So Khanti parami, it doesn't mind because it has to be understanding only right now from moment to moment, depending on conditions. So how long it will be that moment of realization. But it doesn't matter because it's so true that it's anatta. Without understanding gradually, little by little, it's impossible to have such moment, the realization of the truth, unexpectedly of unexpected object. Firm confidence, adidana parami. So no doubt about what is adidana parami. All kinds of parami has to be right understanding of the truth, which conditions such parami of giving away things, helping the others, and so on, any kinds of kusala. It begins in a day, naturally, unknowingly, until right understanding knows, stage by stage, little by little. So no doubt how people in the Buddha's time became enlightened, no doubt, at any moment, unexpectedly, unexpected object before enlightenment. No doubt about what is that right now. No word, because right understanding is then. No need to say anything at all, because the reality appears as it is. It doesn't need any word. The Nama, the reality, which is the experienced object, is any moment. Even when there's no seeing, what is there? See, now we just talk about daily life before seeing what is there. See, not in the book, but the understanding of the reality which experiences is there. But Panya does not understand that very moment. There must be that moment, the reality which experiences before seeing, before hearing, and also after seeing, hearing. So the careful considering, attending little by little to the truth, to the characteristic which is there taught about different levels of understanding. That's why the first round of Ariya Satya is now we're talking about. The second round is unexpected awareness of what is there right now, even hardness, or sound, or the hearing, or the feeling, or the memory, and so on. Or there can be unexpected object of awareness. It proves and it develop, accumulate more and more understanding of anatta because it's opposite of atta. The word that is anatta, when there is a little more understanding of how come seeing right now. Is that what it's mean by Adidana Parami?
That's wrong view about the self, bit less.
It's not just talk about the word in the book, but no matter where I talk about, it's here and now. Like seeing, thinking, liking, everything. But without the words of the Buddha, that is in Pitaka, how come to think about it by oneself? That's why the more understanding of the subtle truth, the more respect to the virtues of the Buddha, the enlightenment. Otherwise, this life is in vain, no understanding of what is there at all from moment of birth to death. While it can be studied, but not by oneself, but from hearing and considering the truth of each reality in a day. Now, a little more. Kanti Parami, Satya Parami, Viriya Parami, Nekama Parami, and other Parami. Metta Parami, a little more. Upekha Parami, and so on.
And the second part of your question, Alberto, was about samadhana, undertaking, and chaitana. So another big topic. For example, if we talk about having an undertaking not to break the precepts, samadhana is used as undertaking. But we know that undertaking not to break the precepts or undertaking not to get angry can be with kusala or akusala. So in the text, we read about the wholesome and the unwholesome samadhana, like children in a school undertake not to get angry, not to do this and that, but no understanding. Usually it's akusala undertaking, and the chaitana, those moments, the intention to be good and so on, is usually akusala too, different from when, to use the example Asita mentioned, like when there's intention not to speak harshly. Again, it may be with clinging, an unwholesome undertaking, or there may be wise consideration about the value of speaking harshly and accumulating more akusala chitas, more dosa, and so on. So the chaitana can be kusala or akusala at those times when it's just wishing not to get angry, wishing not to have more akusala, and intending not to have to break the precepts. nothing to do with aditana parami at all. But when there is seeing the danger in akusala, when there's iri and otapa, seeing the shame of what is so ugly and the wise consideration, then the undertaking can be wholesome. But of course, the best samadhana is, with regard to bad sila, is the most useful, is the development of right understanding of realities now. So it is the right understanding that develops and conditions aditana, not any kind of intention or undertaking that about how unwholesomeness won't arise again, because usually it's I trying, I wishing, I having determination not to speak harshly, not to do bad, different from the right understanding of the reality when it arises now, which conditions more confidence, and more confidence conditions more understanding. So they develop together. But again, Ajahn may have more comments to add on this topic too.
Just if I may add there, look, thanks so much, Alberto, for that question. And thank you, Tanajan Cup, for such a magnificent answer, which I see really was an invitation to us all to reflect on and consider carefully the Dhamma. I truly appreciated what you had to say to Alberto. It was a beautiful testament to the Dhamma, and I'm truly grateful that I can listen to such wisdom. Thank you very much.
And at moment of samadhana, is it reality? Is it a reality? Which samadhana, the intention to abstain from killings and stealing and so on, it can be any moment, even right now. Will you kill? What's the answer? Will you steal? No answer?
No.
What's the answer? I will not, right? At that moment, it's intention not to kill and not to steal, just right thing. But when time comes, the situation is there. Do you have to say or to think, I will not kill? Because it's in your mind. The intention wants not to kill. But when time comes, who knows? That's why there have to be the cetasikas, which abstain from ill deeds and ill speech, vidati cetasika. Otherwise, even one has intended not to kill, not to steal, but who knows the condition for stealing and killing. By condition, suddenly, instantly, it's already done. That's why the word samadhana is the intention from hearing, considering, not to do such and such a kusla. I samadhan not to kill when my youngest brother died. At that very moment, I will not kill. But now I don't have to think, I not kill, I not kill, I will not kill. But at moment of what is there, virati cetasika is there because of the samadhana. It's firm and it's there once and it's there on and on. So when time comes, it depends on how strong the kilesa is or how much samadhana is there very firm. Even you don't have to say, I will not, but it depends on condition to kill or not to kill by conditions. That's why there are different levels of sila do. The madana is the wholesome intention to abstain from such and such unwholesomeness. unwholesome deeds. But when time comes, it depends again of whether the Cetasika arise to abstain or not. That's why all dhammas are anatta. The moment of thinking, intending not to kill is there, whether it's firm or not. All depends on conditions too, when time comes. That's why Dhamma is Dhamma. We learn a little more about different Cetasikas and the function of Citta and the function of each Cetasika to understand that very moment according to how much understanding of the truth, the Ariya Satya, the first round or the second round or the third round. Dhamma is Dhamma, no matter what rounds of Ariya Satya. So we learn now to understand anatta. All comes the understanding to understand anatthaness. Otherwise, it is I, samadhana, and I do not kill, and so on. But in truth, all are cetasika and citta and rupa from life to life. Anatta, the ultimate truth, the Ariya Satya. Dhamma, Satya Dhamma, Ariya Satya Dhamma. That's why Sila is the manners of the behaviors of Citta and Cetasika. It includes all kinds of Kusala Sila, Kusala Citta, Kusala Sila, and Abhayagata Sila. The Rupa doesn't have Sila because it does not experience any object. So it's the behavior of Citta and Cetasika by different aspects, by different manners. Classify a lot in the Visuddhimagga.
That's right.
Is there Sila now?
With Sila, but
Yeah. Any moment. Kusala Sila or Akusala Sila. And is Sila Abhayagata Dhamma? See, we learn a little more about different people, the Arahata and the whirling people and so on. Dhamma is Dhamma. Why do we learn a lot? Because it's the only way to wear away the idea of self at moment of understanding the reality as it is. Citta is citta. Cetasika. Contact is contact. Attention is attention. What are there in a moment? Just to let go, to wear away the idea of self, which has been accumulated enormously. So how can it be instantly eradicated? Impossible. And right understanding and begin to understand the truth right now. So the seeing is real. See, a level of understanding. It's real because it's now sees, but it does not appear because it experiences the object. So the object which is experienced now appear. Not the seeing, not the hearing, not the thinking, not the smelling. In a day, in life, be truthful to the truth. Satya Bharami. more confidence that no one can make anything arise at all, because in truth, they are all dhammas. So very little from life to life, from moment to moment, to develop right understanding, panya parami, and other parami, according to panya parami. Joy. If there is a way, even so long, just one step at a time will lead to that goal. Realization right now, seeing arises and falls away by way of nimitta. See, as now it is nimitta, so at moment of realization of seeing, it has to be nimitta of seeing. One nimitta at a time. So right understanding begins to see, just live in the world of nimitta, of something and someone. In truth, all gone. Anatta. Nothing can be taken for atta at all until it's so firm. Confidence and idana with panya to have more khanti and viriya, metta and so on.
And I think, Ajahn, usually samadhana is referring to kusala undertaking. But in, for example, the Mahadhamma Samadhana Sutta, it, after talking about how the ordinary person doesn't know what should and shouldn't be cultivated, whereas, of course, the well-taught Aryan does, it then refers to 4 ways of right and wrong samadhana. In the first one, the ignorant worldling undertakes what is painful now, such as various kinds of akusala with pain and grief. And the result is more pain and grief by way of unhappy rebirth, because wrong view is evident. And the second way is same, except it's with pleasure and joy, like drinking a pleasant beverage mixed with poison. And the third way they talk about is abstaining from misconduct, but experiencing grief and pain as a result. But the undertaking and abstention is with right view, and the results are favorable, like drinking fermented urine mixed with medicines for jaundice. The color, taste, and smell are undesirable, but the result is good. And the fourth way is the same, but the undertaking and the abstention, so with joy and pleasure, lead to happy rebirths. So the right and wrong views are important, and the Chaitana is very important, but they use the same samadhana. So from these examples, I understood that the undertaking can be wholesome or unwholesome, depending on the intention and the right view. But usually in most contexts, just like with sila, we know there can be akusala sila, but in most contexts in the suttas, it's referring to kusala sila. So I thought it's the same with samadhana.
Samadhana can be kusala or akusala. The robber,
Right.
samadhana to rob.
Right. Exactly. So that's why earlier I said yes, like when a child undertakes not to be naughty or do wrong, it may just be because it's the school rule. It doesn't mean there's kusala samadhana. And like you say, in the case of the robber, So we can't tell by the outer appearance or the repeating of words or the following of a mantra, because there can be the intention not to kill and not to steal. But as you say, when time comes, who knows what will happen? And even if that undertaking is kusala, if there's no understanding, then it's very weak. So, as I mentioned, when it's related to adhitthana, it's what's important is the understanding, not just an intention not to have akusala arise. Do you have any other comments on the topic, Alberto? Because you brought up some quite deep topics.
Yeah. Thinking about what you're just saying about maybe there is more confidence about undertaking like the precepts. Of course, even if there is more confidence about not killing, we don't know if there is we don't know the situation in which we will break the precept or stealing or doing anything. But I think the more the confidence about the precept just being undertaken, the more likely is not to break it. Maybe just
and most importantly, the more understanding of the truth, the more understanding of the danger, the harm of akusala, not for oneself, but just the understanding of the quality, the fearfulness of such harming or wishing to harm. So with more understanding, no conditions at all to wish for or try to harm the other. So the understanding is the main factor.
The main parami as well. So no other parami without panya parami. It must be. It's
it's the understanding that naturally leads to the wholesome samadhana without any thought of I having to do anything.
Sir, I have a question.
Go ahead, Prakash.
So what is the meaning of samadhana?
It means undertaking. So, for example, usually when one recites about abstaining from killing and so on, there is the undertaking, the samadhana to avoid such deeds, such actions. But as I said, it can just be from rote memory. One may just go to the temple and repeat the words. There may not even be any understanding involved. It may not even be kusala at such moments. It may be for oneself because one doesn't want a bad rebirth or any reason. So it can be with kusala chittas or akusala chittas at such moments. The best is with understanding. When there's understanding now, then there can be wholesome undertaking, not to harm, not to disturb the other, not to speak harshly, for example. But who knows next moment what may arise.
So when it comes to these precepts, understanding means what? How should we understand this?
So now, is there any thought of killing or harming the other? No, not now.
No,
What about what about when there is the opportunity? What about when a mosquito lands on one's skin or a tiger attacks one in the zoo? Who knows what will happen at that moment, whether there will be virity, the abstention with right understanding at that moment. So this is why Ajahn mentioned about the virity. So the virities are the factors of the path which develop with right understanding. So when there is the opportunity, that is the test of the understanding and the abstaining from harming. When there's no opportunity to harm, then there's no abstaining.
Yeah.
Like now, no thought of taking something that doesn't belong to one, but when there is the opportunity or the temptation, what about the virity conditioned by right understanding that sees the harm, the danger, and naturally there will not be any taking or harming at those moments.
So it means at the time of that kind of means killing thought arises, one understands that. And
So like now there can be the unwholesome undertaking. One thinks now there'll be no killing, no plan for any killing or disturbance when the opportunity is there, when the tiger attacks, if there is right understanding with virity, cetasika at that moment, there will be abstaining from harming. But one cannot say now what will arise unless one is a sotapanna, no possibility to harm.
so does it mean that not to take precepts, practicing the precepts?
What does it mean to take and practice the precepts? This is the question, because many people say, oh, I go to the temple and I take and practice the precepts. Is there practicing precepts now? What does it mean?
Yeah, it is a decision by individual not to do certain things.
I was just thinking too, if I can just say a few words here. Prakash,
Yes.
in the Pali English Dictionary, sammadana has got two meanings. One is taking or bringing, and the other one is taking upon oneself. And it may be useful if you're interested, because I don't know if you have a Pali English Dictionary, there are many different references given in the sutta that can help you to appreciate sammadana in the right setting or in its context. But as has been highlighted this morning, it can be kusala or it can be akusala, which will mostly be the case because we mostly have attachment in different levels in life. So this is why, like, listening and attending to the Dhamma as it's shared with each other and taught by wise people, that it can be better appreciated. But sometimes I don't know if you have, Pali English Dictionary, because they have got, many different references in different sutta to help you appreciate these things. But I do believe, asking questions, considering and listening carefully are all really helpful.
Thank you.
What I'd like to know, Prakash, is now, is there following precepts and what does it mean?
Yeah, the mean is one undertakes not to kill, not to lie, not to take something doesn't belongs to.
Okay, so now there's no opportunity or inclination to kill. So there cannot be any abstaining from killing now. So the abstaining, the virati, is for a moment when there is the opportunity. It's not just when one's sitting in the Zoom discussion and there's no killing. So the abstaining from killing is not just something that is recited, but it is the actual not killing when there is the opportunity. The not speaking harshly isn't just sitting now when everything is comfortable and everyone is pleasant. But what about when there is the opportunity? What about the abstaining at that moment from speaking harshly? If someone speaks harshly to you or gets angry or impatient with you, what about the abstaining from speaking back or raising one's voice? This is the virati cetasika. So it's not just going to the temple and wearing white clothes and taking precepts and following precepts at that time. It's in daily life when there is the opportunity and there is the abstention. And as we've discussed, the samadhana, the undertaking to follow certain precepts, it can be kusala or akusala when one repeats and says, I won't kill and I won't steal and so on. Is there any understanding, or is one just repeating the words? So many points to consider, but whatever we discuss is in a moment. It's now. Kusala or akusala citas now. Understanding or no understanding now.
And I was just thinking too. Yes. Sorry, Prakash, you're going to say something.
No, go ahead.
I was just thinking further that samadhana is the noun, and of course what's being referred to often is when people take upon themselves that precepts, which may not be so helpful at times, but can be a reminder perhaps. But the word samadhiyami is used there, which is the verb, and it's obviously in the first person singular, samadhiyami, I undertake. So samadhana is the noun version of that particular verb. If that may be helpful, I'm not too sure. But I do think sometimes by looking at the context of the word as it's used in the sutta, and as I said, many of those are referred to in the Pali English Dictionary or other dictionaries too, but Pali English Dictionary is very good in that respect for trying to get a better understanding. But as I said, it's so easy to be misled when we're reading it with not a particularly helpful level of understanding sometimes. So that's why it's, the questions you ask, I think, are very valuable for us all. So, I appreciate that too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Also, when saying I undertake the precept of not to kill, in Pali is samadhyami, and in English is translated as I. So it's really the self which undertakes the precept, and but that's not what the real meaning of the undertaking the precepts is. Must be by the not by the self, by conditions, not having conditions to kill or to steal or to lie, etc. Because the realities cannot be controlled by the self. Realities like anger, realities like lobha, or wrong view. So it's must be with understanding about the truth of of anatta, and that's when the undertaking makes more sense, and can be done with can be taken with more confidence. It's more.
That's a good point that you've brought up. Yeah, no, that's a good point you've brought up, Alberto, because as we know, samadhiyami, which you referred to there, is in first person singular, and is often translated using the I, but that's not necessarily. That's not necessarily. It's not necessarily right. It is implied to some extent, because sometimes first person singular I can be understood with understanding, not with the literal sense of I doing something. But so you've raised a good point there. When we see the word I being used in the translations, we should consider it carefully and bear in place the actual reality, and of course often the context. So it's not. Yeah, I take your point. It's a good point.
Otherwise, it's like any old religions, like don't kill, you shouldn't kill, you shouldn't do this and that. But it's quite different with the teachings of the Buddha. The self is not implied. Actually, it's the opposite. By conditions.
And as Ajahn was stressing several times, it's not about the word and the definition, but the understanding right now. And Tiffany's got her hand up. So Tiffany and then Ajahn, I think.
Thank you, Sarah. Just loud. I think you just said that it's not about the word. Prakash, I think I understand where Prakash was coming from, because we said that you did the samadhana, and there's kusala or kusala, and he's saying so there's no point in doing the samadhana then, or what's the point of doing it if there's a kusala there? But it's the intention and understanding of it's not just reciting or the practicing or going to the temple and saying after the monk, I don't kill, I don't steal, I don't do all that. But it's a understanding at the moment when something makes you want to kill and the verity comes up. That's the test. Maybe we do the samadhana to remind us when the time comes. It's a reminder not to steal when there's an opportunity to steal. Like if you're in famine and you're really hungry and you see food there, you need to feed the family. Would you steal then, or would you still remember your samadhana? That's all I have to add. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Tiffany. I'd like to make a brief comment here. The undertaking, I think, being referred to, if it can be kusala, if it's something that happens spontaneously and while reflecting about the virtues, the value of kusala and the dangers of akusala. But when we're talking about a formal undertaking, like when one goes to the temple and the monk leads the recitation, etc., that's a different situation altogether. So there, I think it's unlikely that kind of formal recitation is going to be true kusala. And personally, I don't think there's much point to doing that. But at other times, when one, say, is reflecting on the Dhamma and kusala and agusala and other aspects, there can be an appreciation of the value of developing kusala, especially in terms of restraint from those strong kinds of agusala that we know that are referred to in the precepts. And so I see a difference between those two situations. Thank you.
Jan, would you like to add any more comments to any of the discussions so far?
Yes, yes. When there's no understanding of what Buddha said at all, no idea about samadhana, but even there's no word, can there be moment of intention not to do? For example, if you see someone is killing fish, for example, what is there? It can be a moment of thinking, I'll not do that, even you don't speak out. Or I would like to do that too. How can it be killed? Any way to be learned to kill such and such, to cook and so on. So dhammas are dhamma. No matter you know the word about any dhamma or not, but you cannot change dhamma. That's why in life there is intention, ill intention, or wholesome intention. You don't have to speak out, I will help while you are helping, and so on. I will not kill at moment when the other kills by conditions. So when we know about the word, different word of intention, its ordinary term for each moment is there. It forms, it performs, it performs its function. So intention is there, ill intention or wholesome intention. Even we don't speak out. See, so I don't kill. You may not speak out, but it's your habits or the accumulation to be at that very moment thinking about killing or seeing someone beat the other so cruelly, very cruelly, and you know that you don't do that. It's that moment of samadhana. I'll not do that. Not in words, but in truth. It just arises by conditions accumulated to speak out or to think about it. You don't have to speak out, but at moment of thinking, it's like speaking to yourself. So understanding the reality as it is, what is the reality of samadhana? It has to be intention. But it's not just intention which arises with vipaka or kriya citta, but the intention arises with akusala at moment of wanting so much. It can condition moment of take it without asking permission from the owner or anything at all. See, that's the way Dhamma is. But Buddha taught about what is it, what stage is it, and what level is it. For example, no matter people just talk about the untruth, words, lie, and so on. But you never do that at all. Even you were going to be punished or no matter what. It's a madana and it's so firm at that very moment. No need to say to speak out or to tell anybody at all. So just follow the term, the word without any understanding. After reciting the Pali word, after that you kill and you steal. So it's not the truth at all because of not understanding what is there as is. And when we learn about the word, it's not just the word without talking about the truth. It just concerns what is there in life, so very, very subtle. That's why intention is there at that very moment, and gone. No need to say it again and again and again when it keeps you not to do such and such that you have samadhana. See, and do we have to say anytime, every morning, I will not do this, I will not do that, and so on. I will do this or I do that. It's not necessary at all. But the way it is, the deeds which has done by such reality, firm confidence of the abstaining from ill deeds, even what the object is there. So very desirable or no matter what. See, all our life in each moment, daily life, to be known, even samadhana, it's just a moment of thinking, not to kill. But when time comes, forgotten, or it's still there, not to kill, even you don't speak out. So just learn about the truth of the reality which is there, arising and falling away so very rapidly before it can be known from hearing and considering about the truth, the reality, the ultimate truth, citta or cetasika. So when there's the understanding of samadhana, it's just intention. And at moment of abstaining from killing, it is virati cetasika. If virati cetasika does not arise, the deed has done. See, that's all. And no one there. It's only the moment of such accumulated reality to arise in such and such situation. So now, see, do we have to say the 5 precepts, speak out, I will abstain, I will, so on? No need at all, because it's there once and it's there. When time comes to be stable, to condition moment of not killing, it does not that at that very moment you have to speak out, I will not kill, as samadhan, and so on. Not at all. Any situation in any life, it conditions the intention which has been accumulated to be firm or not firm. And there can be only thinking at that very moment and then forget. That's why we see the one who takes the other's property, cheating, or they do have to samadhana, because it's already firm to do that. And it doesn't have to say out, I will steal, I will cheat, I will kill, I will do wrong. But it's there, akusala sila. Samadhana to be akusala as long as one lives. See, all depends on conditions. So the word samadhana is the intention just at that very moment. And when you recite it without firm confidence, it just follows the word, just the word.
Yeah, I think that's such a good point, Tanajan, that you make there, that the thief or the other person who acts with a kusala sila by way of body, especially, I'm thinking here, they don't have to say out, I will kill or I will steal and so on. It's already firmly entrenched. It's firmly in place for them to act in such ways. There is no need for them to speak it out. I think that's a really good point about to exemplify the nature of a kusala sila. And then, of course, it can help us to appreciate, too, the nature of kusala sila. At that level, we don't need to speak it out. I think that's such a good point and such a valuable point to bear in mind. Thank you, Tanachan.
Is that true?
Yes, certainly, Tanachan.
Panya Parami and Satya Parami and Adidana Parami. To understand the truth, not just speak out.
Prakash, any comments on what you've heard from us all?
Yeah, Sarah, it is more important is what one does when situation arises. Whether he keeps or doesn't keep is more important than undertaking. That is what I'm trying to understand.
And it is the habit, like I don't remember actually ever killing any insect in my life at all, even before I heard the Buddha's teachings. So as Ajahn said, it's not a matter just of whether one's heard the Buddha's words or not. There can be wholesome intention not to harm by habit anyway. Or one may have heard the Buddha's words, and even though one speaks out and recites the precepts, there may be the harming. So it depends on habits and accumulations and consideration of what is right or not right.
Yes. So it means one may not have a control also if there is a habit is so strong, isn't it?
If it's so firm, then no temptation. So if there's no temptation, no purity either. So the habit becomes stronger and stronger with more understanding as well. Like my brothers were quite cruel, always catching insects and so on, but I never joined in or had any part of it, just by habit or confidence that that was the right way, even though I hadn't heard the Buddha's teachings, but firmer and firmer with right understanding. So it's not speaking out, but it's the habit that develops and accumulates no matter what is said or thought when time comes. And the important point is not I or you or anyone doing anything. It's not I or you who undertakes or has kusala or akusala chittas. These are all just different dharmas conditioned in different ways, all anatta. Otherwise, we think I have to do this or I make this undertaking. But no, we're talking about moments of kusala chaitana, or moments of akusala chaitana. That's all conditioned, all arising by the accumulations that Kunsupatson asked about at the beginning.
Also, an interesting point is that without wrong view, there cannot be killing, there cannot be stealing, there cannot be lying, there cannot be all these akusala needs wrong view about self, about people and about things, which is not so apparent.
Yeah, no, that's a really good point, I think, Alberto, because it underpins how pernicious wrong view is, and it's an incredible precipitator for akusala. And it's really, really, really well brought out by you there. That, and of course, we know the Buddha spoke about that too. It's one of the most dangerous Chaitasikas. And as you just pointed out to us all, that it's a foundation for all sorts of, horrible levels of akusala, which we see about us. Good point.
Well, I think, Alberto, also, though, we need to bear in mind that there are people who live a life of very good sila, but have a lot of wrong view. And we know that the person who develops samatha, for example, to the level of jhana, can do so even though there is wrong view. And that person must have very good sila in order for jhana to develop. So it's not so much a question of, as I see it, that the connection between wrong view and sila, but it's the level of understanding which eradicates wrong view. That understanding also is a basis for acting with better sila, because sila is being developed as understanding develops. Yeah,
there's only one way. The path is only one to.
Okay, I think we need to continue this next time. Unless Ajahn would like to say anything to finish off.
The more understanding, the more wearing away, little by little, the idea of self. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะอาจารย์
สวัสดีครับ
อนุโมทนา